Have you ever tried to cover a Taylor Swift song or any contemporary song? Hit every single note perfectly, had great pitch, great tone, and yet when you listen back, it just sounded wrong. It sounded boring. It sounded like you were reading from a phone book rather than telling a story. We've all been there. You're not alone. This is the single biggest frustration I see in singers today. We're obsessed with the correctness. We're taught that if we hit the right pitch at the right time, we've done our job. But when we listen to a track like Fortnight, we're hearing something that goes far beyond correctness. We're hearing a feeling. We're hearing a very specific, heavy, emotional atmosphere. Most vocal coaches will tell you how to practice your scales. They'll tell you to work on your breath support, and those things are important. But they won't help you sing Fortnight or most other contemporary songs. Because the magic of this song isn't in the technique, it's in the absorption of the emotion. Today we're going to try something different. We're going to stop analyzing and start absorbing. We're going to use two simple tools, Melodyne and Audacity, not to be engineers, but to be mirrors. We're going to look at the rhythm you can't hear. We're going to learn a technique called perfect unison that will change the way you practice forever. I'm going to show you how to stop singing at the song and start singing inside the song. By the end of this session, you won't just know how to sing Fortnight, you'll know how to borrow the soul of any artist you admire and filter it through your own voice. This is about moving from being a technician to being an artist. Let me show you how right now. Okay, so we're going to actually start putting things up on the stage and showing you guys what I was talking about. So the first thing we're going to do is bring Nicole up. She is my student, and she's going to be on the hot seat today and help us with this. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Brad.
So, when you're chatting, be sure and say hi, Nicole, as well as me. So let me pull up the comments so that we can actually see what's going on here. Okay, so I'm the only one in the room so far. All right, no worries. So the first thing we have to do is kind of change the mindset from perfect to non-perfect. Mm-hmm. Perfect meaning piano perfect, rhythm perfect, to Taylor Swift perfect. Okay, so there's two different perfects. And Taylor Swift perfect is also very similar to many other styles that we run into. But the first thing we want to do is take a look at sheet music, because that's where it all lies. That's where everybody says you've got to be perfectly on the pitch and perfectly in the rhythm. And the issue here we're going to find out is that's not really true, because when we do that, it's going to sound like this. And I always love this part of the show because it's so funny. So I'm going to play the piano along with the sheet music, and it's going to show you exactly what perfect pitch and perfect rhythm sounds like. Here we go. Check it out. Okay, now we haven't brought Taylor up, but I'm pretty sure you guys know that's not what Taylor sings like. Right? Listen to it one more time. Remember how Taylor Swift sings, and then check out this sheet music. Imagine you're learning Taylor Swift's Fortnight from this sheet music. I've taught it before. I know what it sounds like, but I want you guys to kind of, take a look at it. Okay, so now let's get away from that. I can only take so much of that. So many people I taught many, many years ago, I thought, well, this is the way it has to be done. We have to have a pianist. We have to do that. But it always sounded wrong because I've been listening to contemporary music all my life. So we're going to pull up a new software called Melodyne. Now, you don't have to be an engineer to know how this works. Just kind of follow along. And I'm just going to show you with your own eyes what Taylor Swift actually looks like if you could see her voice. This is the beauty of this new technology. It'll be up in just a moment. Okay, it's on stage. You can check it out now. All right, so they call these things orange blobs, okay? And they represent Taylor's voice. So as we go through here, we're going to be able to see with our own eyes whether she's flat, sharp, before the beat, after the beat, so we can say, okay, I guess Taylor isn't perfectly on pitch and perfectly in rhythm. So how am I going to learn how to do that? That'll be the next section of the show, which will be just a few moments. But right here, her very first pitch, and I'm going to play her just singing this line all by herself without the music.
All of this to say,
I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
So again, you think back, sheet music, Taylor. Sheet music, Taylor. I think we better learn from Taylor. Because as you can see here on these lines that go from left to right and from top to bottom, these orange blobs fit inside of there. So this is the horizontal section, and it shows us exact pitch. So right here, she's sharp. So as I click on this, you can actually see that she's 10% sharp, this little box right up here, if you've got a big enough screen to see it. Here she comes in a little bit flat. So the first note a little bit flat, the next note a little bit sharp. This one's pretty close, but if you see her reverb in here, I mean her vibrato is pretty erratic. Erratic vibrato and erratic timing create all kinds of emotions. So emotions are what we want to control the voice, not the other way around. This part is just beautiful here because it is so erratic rhythm-wise. The rhythm is from these little squares from the vertical lines left to right. And without, again, you having to see everything I'm showing you, just believe me, this is late. This is on, but this is way early. This is way early. This is early here. On here, that's a syllable there, so she's right on here. And here she's quite late. Here she's quite late again. And then I love this one here because listen to the very last line and listen to the emotion in there. It is so powerful. This very last word that you're going to hear is coming up right now. Reason. You look at that, Brad, that looks very erratic. Well, it is because she's emotionally broken down. We'll have Nicole kind of tell us more about what this song's about and why she chose this section. But I wanted to just do the myth bust, if you will. If we don't understand how singers that really are powerfully and acceptant have these great audiences and have people screaming in the middle of their songs and so forth, this is the magic, not vocal technique. Vocal technique's great. I teach it, but don't think it's going to fix these problems. It will not. However, audacity will. So we're going to bring that up next. Any questions about what we just saw? I don't see anything. Happy Sunday. Hey, everybody. Yeah, thanks, Darwin. We're so glad all of you are here and that you're making comments. Again, say hi to Nicole for me. All right, so let's pull this off. Now we're going to look at a DAW. It's called a DAW, and it's just a way to play the music and learn from Taylor exactly. So let me pull that up, and then we'll ask Nicole to help us out here. All right, so I've got this right where you're going to be singing. Now, one thing, Nicole, I'll give you a heads up. I've selected the first, let me put it up on the stage. I've selected the first part of the phrase so that you can get into the rhythm, but that won't be the part you wanted to learn or wanted to sing. The next part of the phrase, right here, this little blob here, is where she actually starts singing the part you wanted to learn.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about the song. How does it make you feel? Why did you want to learn this particular part?
I just thought the song was pretty.
Okay.
I don't follow Taylor Swift that much.
Right.
But I do like Post Malone, and I heard the song.
Yeah.
And I know it's about a lost love, and it just sounded pretty and dramatic and emotional, and there's stuff in there that I hear that I haven't been able to duplicate. So that was the reason. Okay,
that's a great idea. This is a very emotional song, everyone.
Yes.
And one of the things that I love about using it today, and I didn't select it, Nicole selected it, and I looked at it and I go, this is perfect for the show because there's very little going on in the melody. There's just, even if you look at the sheet music, you see not very many notes. And if you hear the whole song, and it was number one right away, this is a huge hit. It hit the charts and went right to number one, as they say with a bullet. The beauty is it's so simple, but yet she just keeps singing the same line with different words. She doesn't go to a high note. She does go to a lower note, but she doesn't go to a high note to create drama, like they usually do with arrangements. It just kind of keeps going. And if you check out the video, it is pretty amazing. It's about the parts that I saw and a little bit that I read. It's about a functional alcoholic, if you will, and how she's trying to deal with life and drugs and so forth. I don't know. I don't think it reflects Taylor's life. But she decided to write about it with Post Malone, and it just turned out to be this incredible work of art that doesn't have the things in it you think everything should have. the big editing, the big, the big applause. Yet girls are screaming. Everybody's going crazy in the middle of this thing. This is a live recording, by the way. All right, so what I want to do right now is the first thing that we usually do when we want to learn a song is we just pick the song, kind of get the lyrics. Do you have the lyrics, by the way, Nicole?
For that section, I do.
Okay, great. Yeah, so she's ready. So what we do is we just sing along, and usually we hope that we get it. So Nicole's going to do that for us because she's such a great person. And just listen to what it's like. You'll recognize it. You'll go, gee, that's the way I sound when I do it. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to remember the first phrase is just to get into the feel. Then you'll actually come in on the phrase you selected.
Okay.
Here we go.
I was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my aesthetic.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
I'm going to give you a little more volume, Nicole. I can do that here in Far Play. So let me select it. Just give me a moment. Sorry about this. Live, you guys get to chat, but you have to put up with these little segments where things are kind of go wacko. All right, so input mixer. Actually, I'm going to bring you up in GarageBand. If you've ever been in a recording studio, you'll see engineers do this all day long, and you go, I'm paying them to do this, but hey, they've got to, right? Because if they don't, you're not going to get what you want. But computers have made things simple, but at the same time, very, very complicated. So that's what we're dealing with right now. So let me pull up Audacity again, now that I've turned her up. And just so people can hear it, would you do that for us one more time, Nicole?
Sorry, what?
Would you do that one more time for us?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Thank you. Yes, she's louder now. Hey, we can hear Nicole. All right, here we go.
I was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my aesthetic.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
Now, that was actually very good. I mean, I believe me, I've heard it sound a lot worse, right? Because, I just played around with it. I don't know the words, but I was like, do, 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 do. Oh, wait a minute, where is she? But the thing that we need to change here is we need to start listening instead of just singing. Because if we just sing along, and you notice what happened is that it was a little bit hard to tell who's singing what. Mm-hmm. And we really need to know what Taylor Swift is singing, and we can't do that if we're singing along. So the first thing we need to do is listen, but there's another trick that I've added to this learning process. And I want to make this clear. I'm not the star of the show, and Nicole wants to be, but she's not yet. All students want to be, but Taylor Swift's the star of this show. I'm here to show you how to use software. I have a video program that you can buy that will show you exactly how to do this. That will change the way you practice forever. I mean, you'll be learning things that you didn't even know existed before because you didn't slow things down. Now, musicians have been doing this forever. Singers, not so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to change the tempo. Now, this is very similar to athletes and their coaches looking at super, super great athletes and going, how do they do that? Well, they slow the video down and they check it out. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change it to minus 35% so that we get a real sense of what is happening in Taylor's voice, because it's a lot more complicated than you're ever going to believe. Okay, put a minus in there. And until you've done this, you don't really know what I'm talking about. So the first thing we got to do is, like I said, we're going to listen. Now, I've set this on loop mode so we can listen to it 2 or 3 times. Now, my video program will tell you to listen 20 or 30 times because the listening is where all the power is. Then you do some singing, then you do some recording, and we'll show you that exact process. Nicole's been through this with me before on some other songs, and I want you to, again, really appreciate that she's here. I'm putting the students under a lot of pressure, but they're coming up to the stage and going, yeah, I'm going to do it. So this is what we're going to do. Listen 2 or 3 times. It's going to be much slower so you can hear the details. And then after that, I'll stop you for just a minute. We'll talk just for a second or two, and then you can sing.
Okay.
Ready? Here we go. So Nicole's doing what you should be doing. If you had this program, this is what you'd be doing.
I was a functioning alcoholic.
So I'll give you lots of introduction here.
Notice all of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason. I was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my nervousness.
The Taylor you never knew.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason. I was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my nervousness. All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
Okay, so what, I know you haven't listened to this a lot, Nicole, which is kind of why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
What did you notice different that time?
Her voice sounds so full.
Yeah, it's amazing. Isn't it? It's like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound like Taylor.
No, and there was parts that I thought she went up on, but it doesn't sound like that when it's slowed down.
That's right. Anything else? I'll point out a few things for you.
The vibrato and reason, you can really hear her emotion.
Yeah.
And it sounds, the pronunciation sounds different when it's slowed down.
It does, but it isn't different. That's the amazing thing. One of the things that happens to all of us as singers is when we're very young and we really want to do this, we pick a certain genre, certain styles, and then we listen to those people and our minds go, that's perfection. So when someone comes along with has music theory and says, well, no, it's got to be on the beat like this and this, you kind of think, well, that must be true because they're perfect and, you know, these people are telling me that perfect music is perfectly on the beat, perfectly in rhythm, so in pitch, so I got to do that. Well, you heard the sheet music and that's what you'd sound like. So we don't want that. It's not going to work for us. So we looked at Melodyne, and one of the things that was great is where she goes da 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 da, right? So if that was perfectly in pitch and rhythm, it would sound like da 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 da. Sound like some kind of grinder music. But she's playing with it. Da 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 da. I'm not even doing exactly what she does. I'm just kind of throwing out some thoughts. The other thing that is very common in this style of music is there's a lot of slurring. And there is a lack of over-pronunciation. So like you said, it's like, oh, wait a minute. She's kind of like, she's almost mumbling. And if you watch the video, she's pretty intense. I mean, the woman feels what she writes. I give her that 100 times around the bend. Some people say, oh, she's not a good singer. She doesn't hit high notes, blah, 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 blah. But I'm telling you, this is the magic that all artists wish they had. Some of them do, and they can sing high notes, and so can Taylor. But in this particular situation, we're isolating that and saying, okay, we've got so much to learn here. We don't want to get too caught up in too many details. Let's listen again and just kind of listen to how those slurs happen, how she's mumbling, and that, like you said, the very last note we saw it on Melodyne, how it kind of trails off into this kind of, right? And Taylor's really, really good at that. I've noticed this before in some of her songs. Here we go.
I was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my nervousness.
Everybody listen, we're trying to learn here.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
You see, that's emotion. Taylor lets the emotion control the singing, not the other way around. She doesn't map, I mean, I'm putting words in her mouth, but I'm pretty sure she does not map all this out and say, okay, we're going to do this exactly this way and blah, 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 blah. She feels the emotion, and she's enough of a musician that she can just do it. Okay, Nicole, you get to have some fun now and sing along. Right?
Okay.
So, we're trying to create a unison. Let me explain to everyone here that maybe not know what that is. A unison, in this case, is two voices that become one. So the power of that is that after Nicole takes, if she wants to really learn this, takes the time to go home and do everything that I've taught here, and same thing with you guys, and then you create this unison. It gives you a tremendous amount of confidence because you go, oh, wow, I've wondered all these years how the people do it. Now I've created a unison. Now I know how they do it because I did it too. And we'll record that just so that everyone here can hear it, and that's going to scare Nicole, but so that Nicole can hear it, so that she can make decisions from there. So I've talked too much. Let's go on. Here we go. So just wait for wait to get into that groove, feel that beat, and then come in on the phrase you want to learn.
Okay.
I was a functioning alcoholic, so nobody noticed my was there.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
Great, do it again.
I was a functioning alcoholic, so nobody noticed my was there.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
Very, very good. That one little note that you thought she did, you're kind of still putting it in there. But so that's no big deal. But you're really getting the rhythms down. So we're going to record you doing that, and then you can listen back and see where you could improve. Now, the process here, so you understand, is after she hears it, then we're going to play it back once or twice, let her hear and feel where it's a little bit different, and then we'll go back to listening 2 or 3 times, and then when she sings it again, it's going to be much more saturated in the unison effect. Here we go.
I was a functioning alcoholic, so nobody noticed my was there.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
Beautiful. How does that feel, Nicole?
Okay.
Okay, that's all?
I think it was better than the first time.
Well, it was. It was a lot better. To be fair to all of you, the more that a person does this, that's not what I wanted. The more a person does this, the better they get at it, the faster they get at it. You start actually being able to hear things in real time that you weren't hearing before until you slowed it down. So it's kind of not fair, but after you have, even if you're a brand new beginner, and the video program is made for that, it takes you right from the very simplest little ideas until the more complicated. And you can choose any artist you want. We just happen to put Taylor Swift in here because she's the #1 singer in the world right now as far as popularity goes, and we wanted to know why. And isn't it great to find out that it's all in the details? I mean, it's so cool. It's in the details, not in that stuff that's right out there for you to go, oh, that's a high note. Yeah, I got to get that high note. No, it's not because of the high note. Now, I'm going to save a little time here. We won't play it from the exact same spot so that we could just hear the recording. Here we go.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
Okay. Let's listen again. Let me save this part here and we'll do it again from here. Here we go.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
You really got into the feel of that, Nicole.
Yeah, especially the second half.
You sure you didn't write this?
I wish. That'd be great.
Me too. Like I said, I always try to take a little bit of a look at these things, even though I want it to be impromptu, but I don't want to be totally blown away in the moment. But and I know some of the voice teachers that do these things, they go, oh, did you hear that? And, that's great. And I've kind of done that with this, but not because of high notes or great technique or, all of these other things. It's because of the magic and the feel of it. Okay, so now we're going to have Nicole. She's heard how close she was. Where you said, say, that is really good.
Yeah, that part was good.
To say, that's so powerful, And then reason, and obviously the vibrato will speed up when you go back to the original tempo. But in the meantime, you get to hear exactly what she's doing. Mm-hmm. All right, so let me play it again for you now, and just go ahead and sing it. We'll let her practice it once or twice again before she records it, so that, again, she can get in the groove, get in the feel. Here it comes. So I've got to make sure that this is highlighted here. Okay, there we go. Like I said, all these little issues that you have to go through in recording. There we go, right there. Here it comes.
I was a functioning alcoholic, so nobody noticed my nervous there.
I love that line too.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
I was a functioning alcoholic, so nobody noticed my nervous there.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
Excellent. So, don't you hate it when those notes get in your head?
Yeah.
You can't get rid of it. It's like, no, I know she was doing it that way. Because you hear that little bup, bup, bup. That's great, though. But again, this is all about the learning. It's not about the perfection. Now, when you create a perfect unison, you're creating Taylor's perfection. So that's a different kind of perfection. All right, so let's go ahead and sing it a couple of times, Nicole. Way to go. This is going so
Thank
well.
you.
You're welcome. Be sure and, give her some love in the chat.
I was a functioning alcoholic, so nobody noticed my nervous there.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
Another
I
time.
was a functioning alcoholic, so nobody noticed my nervous there.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
Well, thank you guys for giving Nicole the love. You can
Thank
see
you.
right there, Leslie Monroe. She's a very, very experienced singer. So to get that good job, that's great. And then also from Switzerland, my student Ingeborg also gave you a thumbs up there.
Well, thank you, guys.
Yeah. So we're all just loving this learning, Again, I don't want to make this into a flash show where I hype you guys all up. About, rah, 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 rah. This is about learning from a video program exactly how to do this process. And then the book I've also written, Sing from Feel, Unleashing Your Authentic Voice, goes into how you put this into practice in the real world, putting the emotions and getting everything out there in the recording studios and the live shows, getting rid of stage fright. All those things will really help you with all of these little details that you're just learning for the very first time, even though you may have been singing all your life. In fact, I don't think I was doing this when Leslie was with me, so she's never heard this process. So that's really cool. All right, so go ahead and sing it a couple of times, Nicole. Here we come.
Okay.
Or here we go. Excuse me.
I was a functioning alcoholic, so nobody noticed my
say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
I was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my nervous
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
All right, it's time to record that. Again, it's not about trying to say, okay, I've got it perfect, now we'll record it. It's about, I'm really close, let's record it, see how close I am so that I can go back and get it over again, to do it the better and better and better. Now, there's details in this that we're never going to get to because, there's so much. It's like, Brad, you're really only doing one phrase? Yeah, it's because it's so much. It's so much information, and the brain, neuroscientists really proven over and over again, only can handle so much. So the other mistake that we make when we sing the whole song from beginning to end is we're not only missing a lot of things, but the things we did grasp are getting weaker as we go farther and farther into the song. You may have noticed sometimes when you get to a part of the song that only happens once and everything else kind of gets repeated, that one time is the worst part of the song, because you only got a chance to hear it once. This way you take that one section that's so different and then you isolate it and get it exactly the way you want it. So there's a lot to this, and we'll, like I said, if you buy the program or if you're studying with me personally, people are spending thousands of dollars to learn this, so it really pays off. All right, your turn, Nicole. Here we go. Recording. Right. Yay, we're going to learn something.
I was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my nervous
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
This song must fit you, Nicole. Okay, everybody, let's listen back to that. That was pretty damn good. If I can say that on the air. Of course I can. It's my show.
All of this to say,
I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
Can you listen again?
I was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my nervous
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
That is so close. I'm telling everybody, this is really good. I hear a lot of this, and she's really zeroing in on it. What other things, now that you've sung it, you've listened back, and what other things have you noticed that you'd want to work on to get a little better at?
The timing, I'm rushing it.
Okay. You're like me then. Let's talk about absorption, which I talk about in the email I sent out. Absorption is the process of making Taylor you, in effect, so that when you sing along with her, you're actually doing what you've memorized. You're not trying to match her anymore. But that takes time that, show like this doesn't have. So going back to that idea again of 20, 30 times of listening to absorb what Taylor's doing, then when you go back, you're not really trying to match her, because that always puts you either a little ahead or behind the beat, because you're rushing to get ahead, or you go, oh, there she was, now I'm late. So we get those little things going on in our head, and that's fine during the learning process. But at the very end, when you have absorbed what Taylor's doing, then you will not hear any difference between the two of you. But it has to be absorbed, because we can't use music theory here. I tried. Not just this song, but many songs. Like, okay, again, back to piano music. Let's play the piano in here and see if it matches Taylor, right? I don't think so. So we can't use, okay, it's got to be in the pocket. It's got to be on the exact pitch. It's got to be A440 or, whatever terms you want to use. So you can't predict what Taylor's going to do. And we saw that on Melodyne. Erratic rhythms, erratic pitches, vibratos. How are you going to, you can't plan all that stuff out. So you have to listen and absorb and absorb and absorb, and until you can do an absolute unison with her. Then you can go back and listen to other things. We can use Audacity here to just listen to Taylor again by herself. So we're going to just check that out again now that we've been through this process, see what's going on here that we really couldn't hear even with the music on. So here's Taylor all by herself.
I was a functioning,
You know? So good. Like there's, what'd you say?
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
There you're even closer, it sounds like. So I'm going to remove your track.
Okay.
But that was great.
I wasn't expecting to hear me on that one.
Well, you know, you got to blame the engineer, right? Who else are you going to blame? All right, so again, we're just listening to that one line. Here's Taylor all by herself.
All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason.
So one of the things you did so well, Nicole, was the into the sadness of it. You know, like the mouth is, instead of this, all of this to say. None of that. You know, all of this to say. And if you watch Taylor's video, it's a little more animated because, you know, she's got the dancers up there and all that. But the feel is still very much all of this to say. You can't open your mouth too much or it changes the entire emotional structure of what she's trying to get across here. Okay, any questions? Nicole?
No.
No?
No, her emotion is insane. Like, even when you just hear her a cappella, it gives me chills.
Yeah, exactly.
So, no, not really a question, because you have to feel that. You have, like, I think I'm so much in my head, you know, obviously we're going really fast, so
sure.
That's going to take time to come close to.
Well, that's the great thing about, you know, homework, right? That's what a teacher usually does. This is kind of, you've been in a private session, basically, everyone who's watching this. You got a yay from Leslie here. Let's
Thank you,
that
Leslie.
Up. There you go. Hey, wait a minute. What about me? No, kidding. We'll get a competition here. Now we'll really be screwed. So, you know, you can't compete with Taylor. That's not the point. I love that Nicole is humble enough to try to match her and say, okay, Taylor's good. You know, I want to learn something here. I don't want to come in here and show us how I can do it better than Taylor. She came in with her humbleness and said, I want to learn something. And I'm the same way. You know, I could sing these lines for you and try to show off how I could sing like Taylor Swift, you know, change the key, of course. But same idea, you know, wait a minute. Taylor's the star here, not Brad. But this program is a star in itself. So let's just review. We have taken a look at what it sounds like in perfect pitch and perfect rhythm. We've taken a look at what the reality of it, how we can see that Taylor is not perfectly on pitch and perfectly in rhythm based on music theory, classical style, piano music, so forth and so on. Then we looked at Melodyne and we could see for ourselves, we could prove it, that these things are a little bit erratic. Now, Melodyne's only been available for a couple of years, so I didn't even have it. But I could hear the differences, and I would try to explain it to people, but it was hard for them to go, well, wait a minute, but they're perfect. You can't say they're not perfect. Well, they're perfect in their own world, and these are the perfections of the artistry of today's music, actually last 100 years. You know, you go back to the Charleston and the way they were singing then, back in the 20s, the Roaring 20s, all that. Everything was much more improvised and feel-oriented, not acting like a character on stage. Musical theater was doing very well in the movie theaters at that point, and that was much stricter, much more aligned to the way they have to do everything with the orchestra, blending with everybody else, you know, getting into choirs and so forth. Then the lead vocalist took over and just changed all the rules. From there, you go to the Sing from Feel book, which I can only talk about here. What Nicole said is so good. It's about the emotion. I can feel the emotion. I got chills. Why do you think people are buying this record? Because of what Nicole just said. Nicole's right on. It's because what they feel. Audiences don't care about rhythm and pitch. They don't even know. Now, sometimes they go, oh, wow, what a great range that singer had. But really what they're feeling is that emotion that great range brings. If they don't have the emotion in the great range, usually they just go, oh, that was really cool, and give you polite applause. But we want to move from polite applause to yay and standing up and all right, Nicole, go for it, right? So we want what Taylor has, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, why did we get in the business in the first place if we weren't impressed? Now, in the description below on YouTube, you can see where the program is available. Let me remove this thing from my face here. And also, I put, because it was recommended, I'm not taking responsibility here, am I? I put it in the chat, the links as well. And so you can go to the Vocal Muse Suite, and you can go to the Sing from Field book and check them out. See if you want to change your life now. See if you want to become an artist. And see if you want to be able to sing the way you dreamed of when you were very young. Because the technique's not going to get you there. It will help, but it's not going to get you where Taylor is. Because, you know, having been a technique teacher for a while under Seth Riggs and having him tell me everything had to be perfect diction and perfect pitch and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, this doesn't sound right, Seth, but you're telling me what to do, so I'll do it. Technique is just, it's a part of it, but it's not even close to the end. Let me ask everyone this question. Have you ever heard a singer that you didn't think belonged in the popularity? Some people even think Taylor Swift doesn't belong in popularity. But yet, you have your Ariana Grandes, and you have your Christina Aguileras, and you have your Whitney Houstons and so forth. How come someone who has such little skill, put both fingers up, compared to the other singers I mentioned, thinking in the male, even Justin Bieber is misunderstood because he has such great feel. It's just reeking out of him, but he's not into all the flash and all that. So how does that happen? Well, Nicole told us. They're feeling emotion. If we're not feeling an emotion when we sing, the question could be asked, why? Why are we singing? Well, it's fun. It feels good. We want to get out with our friends and do something, and that's great. But if you want to get somewhere in this industry, if you want to have the applause, have the adoration, if you want people to ask you for your autograph, it's not going to be in vocal technique. And Taylor just proved, mumbling through, low diction, sharp notes, flat notes, erratic vibratos. Some things were on pitch, some were not. I have to give it to her. I didn't mention this earlier, but the first three notes are pretty close. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until she got to that it started getting really flat. And if you listen to the song, what's really cool, when you hear the whole song, and if you go through section by section, you'll hear erratic things that you never even dreamed of before. Because Taylor is a living, breathing human being, so she doesn't do things like a robot. And this process will keep you from being a robot and turn you into an artist and a great singer. So you've got your ways to find the book and the Sing from Feel method and the video program, which shows you exactly what we did. Today's just been a demonstration, basically. I hope you all join us. I hope you all get better at this. Please tell other people about the show. You can subscribe if you like. That will help you know when my next show is going to be. I know many people who do these have at the same time every week so that you know, but I can't do that. I've got my private study group, and that's all we do. We do private voice lessons. So I only do these when I have time. But I would love to have you come back. I'd love to have you make comments, be a part of this. Let's see if anybody's made any last-minute comments. Yes, Ingeborg, connect with the heart. Yeah. Sing from Feel is basically the same meaning. It's just a little bit more exact on the whole idea of feel, because that's a word that's used a lot more in the music industry now than it does the hearts. But it's the same concept. Leslie says, make him cry. This song, I don't know if it would make you cry. That would take more research, like what part of the song would make you cry. I don't know that Taylor's character in this is looking for any sympathy. I think it's more about just explaining what it's like to be that way. So yeah, you could cry. You could say, wow, I'm a functional alcoholic. I've got drug problems, and this is really a rough life to go. And they've got her strapped to a table and all this kind of stuff in the video. So yeah, okay, yeah. But connect with the heart. Have empathy for the people you're listening to. That way you'll hear the little details. And the more you do this, the better you'll get at it, because it's a basic principle. Ingeborg says, absolutely. Oh, check out the emojis. You're so welcome, Ingeborg. And I also want you to check out anything that Nicole's going to be doing in the future, because it's going to be great. And I want you to check out Ingeborg and Leslie's material, because they've been singing with Feel for a long time, and it's great stuff there. So there's a lot going on here, and I'm so glad you're here, but we're going to call it a day. Let you all go back to whatever it was you were doing before you decided to be a great singer. All right, thanks again, Nicole.
Thank you for having
me. Love to Nicole, everyone. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, everyone.